To assign a curve, select it from the Grading Objects tool palette. When prompted, select the cache geometry that you want to assign. Remember the curves are assigned to open or closed features. In the curve properties, specify a logical name for the curve. It's very common to have multiple curve assignments, so you use a good naming convention. Specify the curve height and weight that you want to use. These default values can be changed on the tool palette, which we will cover in the next step. The curve direction is very important for the curve design. Notice the message that appears on the properties palette that will help you determine the high side and low side of the curve. Once selected in the drawing, you will notice the grips appear on the side of a thick line. The side that grips appear is the low side of the curve, and the thicker portion of the line is the high side. To reverse the high-low side, enable reverse curve in the properties palette. Select the color that you want to use for the curve to complete the assignment. The curve feature will inherit its elevation from the underlying zone that it resides on when optimized. The defaults for all grading objects can be set on the Grading Objects tool palette. In the Grading Object contextual menu, select Properties. This will open the respective tool palettes where you can change the defaults. You can override the default curve width and height and change the default minimum and maximum slope for a pre-configured zones and enable or disable specific grading conditions. After editing the properties, the next time you select the grading object, the properties will reflect the new defaults. Assign the remaining curves gradings following the same steps as earlier. Make sure to set the same color that was used previously and edit each curve instance to specify a unique and logical name. Then set the correct direction for each curve. Remember that the grid side of the curve grading represents the low side and the thicker side of the line is the high side. Follow a similar process for any retaining walls that you want to define. Like curves and retaining walls can be defined from open or closed geometry. Select the retaining wall from the drawing. Then it from the property specify a logical name. Specify the maximum and minimum height constraint for the retaining wall. Remember that all grading object defaults can be set in the respective tool palette properties. Like curves, you need to make sure the low and high side of the retaining wall is set correctly. The grips are on the low side and the thick line on the high side. Reverse the retaining wall to change it in your drawing. Now that the grading limits, building zones, curves, and retaining walls have been assigned, you can perform grading optimization to see how things are looking for your side grading.